Great goaltending matchup, at least the potential of a great goaltending matchup with Thatcher Demko and UC Saros. Incredible stud defensemen on each side here in Quinn Hughes and Roman Josi. And then you look up front, and the Predators have a top line that has been lights out good, led by Philip Forsberg with 48 goals, third in the NHL in goals scored since the All-Star break. So he has been red hot of late. And on that line with Ryan O'Reilly, who has all kinds of experience and a Stanley Cup ring, and Gus Nyquist as well. But there is a drop after that in terms of the go-to guys for the Nashville Predators. Now, again, they've got top-end talent here. But I think on balance, when you look at these two lineups, at least on paper, the Canucks have to believe that they've got a sizable edge in terms of depth.
Yeah, I would agree. And they should feel that way about it, because especially the way the Canucks are currently constructed. And you have to believe that they were looking ahead to a possible matchup with Nashville, and that factored in to why Rick Tocchet made the decision he did with that third line, because you want balance. And the Canucks should have an advantage with lines 2 and 3 compared to what Nashville is going to put out there. And quite frankly, I think Vancouver's defense on the second and third pairs matches up better against Nashville as well, right? So if they can, who's going to be the matchup line? Is it going to be the JT Miller line, or is it going to be the Lindholm line? We know it's not going to be the Paterson line, but one of those other two lines is going to get the matchup against that Forsberg-O'Reilly line. And can they match them to a saw-off? And if they can do that, you have to like the Canucks' chances at the other end of the ice. And as far as the goaltending is concerned, yeah, you're right. Both of these goaltenders should be even. I think Demko is better, but you look at UC Saros and how good he was when Nashville was on that 15-0-3 run, that 18-game stretch that put them back into this and in the driver's seat for a playoff spot, and then 4-5-1 in the last 10. And he's looked different in these last 10. So, which goaltender are you going to get, right? The Canucks went through this back in 2011 when Pekka Rinne was there. And, how are they going to solve him? You had a great goaltending matchup with Luongo, and the Canucks won that one. Ryan Kessler's not here to drive the bus. Bo Horvat's not here to drive the bus like he did against St. Louis a year ago, in the bubble, I should say. But JT Miller certainly has the ability to drive the bus. And but I think the Canucks have an edge in goal. I think they've got an edge in the back end, and I think they've got a sizable edge in terms of forward depth.
Yeah, look, Colton Sissons is the Predators' second-line center, and he's been a solid National Hockey Leaguer for a long time. He's a North Vancouver guy. And has given the Preds some great years of service, but he's their second line center. So
he should be your third line center, right? Like that's
where I say, like, the Canucks have to find a way to make that a mismatch, whether it's Elias Pettersson, whether it's Elias Lindholm taking on the top end toughs and freeing up Miller and Pettersson then and their lines, to take on guys lower in the lineup for the Nashville Predators. But that's where I think the Vancouver Canucks ought to have an edge. And then look, like, these are all legitimate National Hockey Leaguers, maybe not household names, but perhaps they'll become more so to Canuck fans as you build through a playoff series. But you're looking at guys like Luke Evangelista and Tommy Novak.
Anthony Beauvillier.
Anthony Beauvillier is coming back. Luke Shen is going to be part of this and probably a factor. Like, as physical as they come, and an honest player on the Preds. Jeremy Lauzon led the National Hockey League in hits as a defenseman here. So, if you want to tread into his corner, you're going to have to pay a price. So, I mean, the Preds can be a physical bunch, but again, if you can control and somehow contain particularly Forsberg, but that line and make some of those other guys that I mentioned beat you, I think that has to be the game plan for the Canucks. Now, Philip Forsberg is going to get his looks far, and I think he's 5th in the NHL in shots on goal. Like, this guy peppers goaltenders, and he's got an incredible shot and a great release, and he's feeling it coming into these playoffs. So it's not going to be an easy challenge to keep him in check, but that's the beauty of playoff hockey, is the matchups, it's the in-game adjustments, it's the momentum swings from game to game, but even within the games themselves. And, there's also that unsung hero factor. And, we went through a season here where we wondered who the unsung hero of the Canucks was going to be because there were so many candidates. I think you kind of look at the playoffs the same way. Like, yeah, you expect the stars to show up and produce, but there's generally one or two guys that kind of, come out of the weeds and make a name for themselves. And so I'm fascinated to see who that might be on the Vancouver Canucks.
Thanks for watching this video. For more great content from Canucks Army, check out Sekeres and Price, Rink Wide Vancouver, or our show, Canucks Conversation. We're your one-stop shop for interviews, breaking news, and a live Canucks postgame show hosted by Jeff Paterson.